On the night between July 9th and July 10th, 1856, in a small, remote village hidden among the mountains of the Balkans, the sky is torn in two. Continuous lightning splits the darkness. Thunder roars without pause. Rain falls violently, as if nature itself were in turmoil. On that very night, a child is born. According to a story passed down through time, the midwife, shaken by the fury of the storm, looks at the newborn and murmurs, "This child will be a child of the storm." For a moment, silence falls. Then the mother, exhausted but lucid, replies firmly, "No, he will be a child of the light." Many years later, the world would discover that those words were not merely a poetic image, because that child would forever change the way humanity produces, transmits, and understands energy. His name was Nikola Tesla. Tesla was born in Smiljan, in what is now Croatia, then part of the Austro-Hungarian Empire. From early childhood, he displayed an extraordinary perception of reality. Sudden images formed in his mind with absolute clarity. They were not dreams. They were not fantasies. They were complete machines, working mechanisms, complex devices already defined in every detail. In his writings, he would later explain that he could design an invention entirely in his mind, observe it while operating, identify its flaws and correct them before ever building it in the physical world. A method that set him radically apart from every other inventor of his time. When he arrived in the United States, Tesla came into contact with Thomas Edison. Two brilliant minds, but fundamentally opposed. Edison advanced through trials, successive experiments, failures to be corrected. Tesla, instead, thought in terms of complete systems, balance, harmony. Their decisive clash concerned electricity. On one side, direct current, rigid and limited. On the other, alternating current, dynamic, powerful, capable of traveling vast distances. Tesla was convinced that energy should not be forced, but allowed to oscillate, to transform, to adapt. Time would prove him right. Cities began to glow steadily. Industries expanded. The modern world took shape. Yet Tesla did not stop. While humanity celebrated electric light, he looked beyond. He began to focus on an idea many considered impossible: the wireless transmission of energy. According to Tesla, electricity was not imprisoned within wires. It was a force already present in the environment, in the air, in the ground, in the natural field surrounding the Earth. The key, he insisted, was frequency. In his writings, he returned repeatedly to this concept, eventually formulating one of his most famous statements. If you want to find the secrets of the universe, think in terms of energy, frequency, and vibration. For Tesla, this was not poetry. It was a physical principle. In 1899, he moved to Colorado Springs. There, he pushed his experiments to an unprecedented level. He built gigantic coils. He generated electrical discharges so powerful they illuminated the night sky like an artificial storm. Witnesses of the time spoke of deafening booms, of sparks appearing to float in midair, of light bulbs turning on at a distance without any visible connection. During these experiments, Tesla detected anomalous electrical signals, regular impulses, precise repetitions, patterns that did not match any known atmospheric disturbances. In articles and interviews of the period, he stated that these signals could not be explained as simple natural phenomena. He even hypothesized an intelligent origin, at a time when the possibility of life on other planets was openly discussed in scientific circles. He offered no certainties. He imposed no conclusions. He left the mystery open. Reflecting on the limits of scientific knowledge, Tesla would later articulate one of his most provocative ideas. The day science begins to study non-physical phenomena, it will make more progress in one decade than in all the previous centuries. In those same years, Tesla presented the public with a demonstration that left audiences speechless. A small vehicle moved and responded to invisible commands. No wires, no apparent connection. It was one of the first documented examples of remote control. Some claimed it was a trick, others an illusion. Tesla instead spoke openly of autonomous machines, of devices capable of acting without direct human intervention, of a future in which technology would develop its own form of operational intelligence. His most ambitious project took shape soon after. An imposing tower designed to transmit signals on a global scale. Wardenclyffe. Tesla envisioned an interconnected planet where information traveled instantaneously and energy could be accessed anywhere. At first, funding arrived. Then suddenly, everything stopped. Funds were withdrawn. Work ceased. The tower remained unfinished and was demolished years later. In the final years of his life, Tesla introduced an even more controversial idea. He spoke of a defensive system based on concentrated energy, capable of stopping any attack before it could strike. He called it teleforce. And in this context, he expressed his ethical vision of science with clarity. Science is but a perversion of itself, unless it has as its ultimate goal the betterment of humanity. For Tesla, technology must not destroy, it must protect, it must elevate. He wrote letters, he gave statements. He described the concept without ever revealing a publicly functioning prototype. In 1943, Nikola Tesla died alone in a hotel room in New York. Shortly after his death, authorities seized his personal documents. Some of this material was later returned. Another portion remained classified for years. What did those files contain? Incomplete ideas? Projects too advanced? Or insights the world was not ready to accept? Today, we live immersed in his visions. Alternating current powers continents. Wireless communications span the planet. Invisible waves carry information everywhere. And one of his most lucid statements seems to summarize it all. The present is theirs. The future, for which I really worked, is mine. Perhaps the real question is not whether Nikola Tesla was an unrecognized visionary. But how many ideas are rejected simply because they arrive too early? And whether some of his most radical insights are still waiting to be understood. I am Armil. If you enjoyed this story, leave a like and subscribe to the channel. Because sometimes, the line that separates science from mystery does not disappear. It remains invisible.